All right, YouTube, Matt M. Roy back once again, back to you with a live stream that I wasn't really expecting to do. If you've read the title, you probably know why I'm doing it. Basically, there is a lot of craziness going on in the house right now. I just needed to get out, and I went to the local thrift store over here and just decided to do this live stream. I don't want to head home right now. Nothing terrible, but sometimes there's craziness that happens to all of us, all families, and all walks of life. So I figured let's just go ahead and do a live stream. It's not about anything in particular. It's just whatever you guys want it to be. Liam Dyson, good to see you this evening, Matt. Well, thank you. You too. I'm so glad everybody could make it. Excuse me, I just need to... Sorry, I need to blow my nose a little bit here. I've had some issues with sinuses recently. I am coming to you live from the 2010 Chrysler Town & Country, which, yes, I know I still have not done a review on. I promise that'll happen in the near future. So good I could catch your live stream. That's Ant Thrift. I don't know why this does this. It just does not stay up your comments long enough. There we go. Hello, Matt. How's the weather? AJS 2120. Very warm. As a matter of fact, let me turn this on, make sure the radio is off. And I'll tell you, right now, it is 64 degrees. And it's almost 5 o'clock at night, so I couldn't be happier with the weather. Now, I will tell you this. Tomorrow, it is going to rain, so unfortunately, if we do an exercise, it's going to have to be in the mall somewhere. Don't do that. There we go. Show live chat messages. There we go. How's the walking going? I've been following your updates. That's Liam Dyson. Very, very well. I'm going to post my monthly results at the end of this month, but suffice to say, it's going to be over 100 miles that I've walked for the month. And I absolutely could not be happier. Mom and I are doing great. We're losing a lot of weight. Right now, I'm still at the 293 mark. Hopefully that's going to go down. The way it works with me is I usually stay at one weight for about 3-4 days, and then I drop really quickly. So I'm hoping within the next couple of days I can report back to you guys that I've lost a lot more weight, but we'll see what happens. You know what? Again, this is a lifestyle change. For those of you that haven't followed me in a while, Mom and I are on what we call a lifestyle change. We don't want to call it a diet because diets always fail. So what we're doing is we're augmenting the way we think about food, the way we eat, and the way we exercise. So basically what we're doing is we are exercising 5 to 6 days a week, and we're eating a lot less. I myself am changing what I eat because I used to just eat a lot of garbage. I've actually not eaten junk food per se in about a month. The worst thing I've had the other day was I did have a piece of cheesecake when I went to the Chinese restaurant. They get this New York cheesecake imported in, and it was just too good not to eat, so I decided to have one piece of that. But you also don't want to deny yourself. If you start denying yourself food, you're going to fail right off the bat. Stephen Barber, let me see if I can pull this up again. Hey, Matt, how are you? Hold on, I'm sorry, I can't read that real quick. Do I drink almond milk? On occasion. Our Dollar Tree gets it in once in a while. I'll use it in the coffee because I kind of like the way it flavors the coffee. Do I use a pedometer? Yes, I use the pedometer app for Android, and there are a lot of them out there. The one I use is literally just called Pedometer. I like it because it's fairly accurate. I've actually tested this against my mother's Fitbit, and it pretty much is spot on. And when I'm done at night, I can just hit stop, and I share the results on Facebook. If you follow me on Facebook, you'll actually see those results. I upload those nightly. If I don't walk, I usually don't bother, but most days I'll upload those. How many Optiplex Towers do you have left, AJS 2120, to work on? I actually finished them all, believe it or not. I finished them all. I have about 6 left right now that I haven't sold. I'm hoping to get some more. I've actually got in contact with a government surplus sale that they have HP Pro 4000 towers from around 2012. I'm in talks with them to try to get the price down a little bit. Right now, they're asking a little bit too much, especially these computers are from 2012, and they're rocking Core 2 Duos. So, you know, it just depends. But I'm actively always looking for computers, and absolutely ask me any questions you want about that. I'm an open book there, so I will give you guys the benefit of my 10 plus years of computer knowledge. Yes, I know I'm still on the young side for some of you, but I always do the best I can. Liam Dyson's going to bed. Well, listen, have a good night. It looks like by the fact that I have 11 people watching this already and 4 likes, please hit that like button if you can, that this was a good time to do it. So I'm so happy you guys are here. I know I say that a lot, but I really appreciate all my subscribers, and I apologize if I don't interact with you guys as much as I'd like to. It's just really, really hard when you have so many people that want to comment on your videos. I'd have to hire another person full-time just to answer all the comments from the videos. That's why I like these live streams. 5 likes, yep, and now we're up to 8. That is so awesome. It's 3 p.m. here, still early. Okay, and that's Ann Thrift. I hope I'm saying that right. I'm not good with names, but you know, you guys can get the gist of it, right? Let me show you something. The other day I was in the dollar store, and every once in a while my blood sugar dips. I tend to be hypoglycemic, especially if you know, not eating enough. So what I do, I keep something sweet in the car just in case I need to boost my blood sugar really quickly. And I found these at Dollar Tree. Hostess Twinkies, good old Twinkies. They had them on sale for 50 cents. Actually, I wound up paying $1.25 a piece for these. I'll be honest with you, I don't like Twinkies. Never have. But in a pinch, if I'm in my car and I haven't eaten enough and my blood sugar starts really dipping, these can be a lifesaver. Just something, it doesn't have to be that, just anything that has a good amount of sugar and or carbs will be able to get your blood sugar up in time. I hate it gets, man, this is terrible. Why don't these just stay up? 49. I hate that I get as low as 49 and you use the glucose tabs. Yeah, I have used those a few times in the past, but for me, I just find regular food works. I've never gotten as low as 49. At night, if I didn't eat a lot, I might get down to 60 or 65. But as I start losing weight, that is a distinct possibility, even more weight, I should say. So, yep, definitely got to keep an eye on that. I'm looking at some of the clouds over here, and it looks like we may be in for some rain showers tonight. They said it wasn't going to start raining until later on, but I don't know. I keep getting messages. If you guys hear that, don't worry about it. I should have turned all my notifications off, but I didn't. I just didn't have the time. I'm actually keeping my battery charged with this little Travelocity charger that I got at Dollar Tree the other day. It has one of these braided cords on it. I don't know if you guys can see that a little bit. And I'm trying not to put a lot of stress on my charge port here. I might try to just tie this off or something, or I can just hold it. M&Ms work good for me to put the sugar up. Yeah, I like M&Ms. My dad really likes the peanut M&Ms. I actually like the peanut butter M&Ms because I was always a big fan of the Reese's Pieces, and I don't know, I'm just a big peanut butter fan. And my dad's getting more like that too. At night sometimes, like right before I go to bed, if I need to have a little blood sugar boost, I'll get some Ritz crackers, or it'll actually be the Savorites, the Aldi's generic ones. Put a little bit of peanut butter on there with a little bit of jelly. Absolutely delicious. Definitely one of my favorite little snacks to have. Not the healthiest, but again, you want to have a good combination of carbs and sugar, and that's what it is, because you figure on average you're going to sleep 12 hours, so you know you really need to keep your blood sugar up overnight. The good rule of thumb is 100. You want to have your blood sugar by the time you go to bed to at least to 100, and most of the times mine is hovering around 88 or 90, so I usually have to have a little something to boost it up. I drink Coke to bring it up. What did that say? Or Starbursts. Coke would work. I couldn't eat Starburst anymore because of my teeth. Not that I have bad teeth, but I do have a crown here and some fillings that I'm afraid of pulling out. So I don't eat Starburst. I don't eat any kind of gummy candy anymore. I used to, for obvious reasons other than that too. I used to love the Swedish fish. I remember years ago when my cousins were young, we used to go up to the Village Variety, the 5 and dime, and we get bags of it for like $1, and we just eat it in the car. And I'm sure that contributed a lot to this, among other things. But one other thing I want to touch on, and again, I don't want to make this a religious channel, but I know some of you that watch my channel are Christian. We started going back to church the other day, and the message, the sermon that he preached on, our pastor, was about, basically it was about let me get the word right here. It was self-control in every aspect of your life. Now, we all have different problems with self-control. With me, gluttony would have been the one. I mean, and I'm the first one to admit that. You know, I love food. And even now, there are times that I really want to binge eat, but I think about all the progress I've made, and that my body is like a holy temple, and I'm just doing this not just for me, not just for the Lord, but there are so many different aspects of why I'm doing this, and I hope that you guys feel the same way. If you're in the same boat as I am, trying to lose weight, don't give up. I'm here for you. I will always be here for you, even in the bad times, especially in the bad times. That's when we need help. We need to help each other, pretty much. Can you do some computer reviews, like with your dad's Optiplex? Yeah, I'm definitely going to be doing, and that was Ruben Aparecico. Again, I'm sorry if I butchered that name. Yeah, I'm going to try to do that in the near future. Right now, the reason I haven't been doing a lot of technology-related videos or electronic videos, I'm focused more on... Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm trying to focus more on the fitness side of things, and to me, that's the most important, because right now I want to keep getting healthy, and I do consider myself at this point fairly healthy now that I have my blood sugar under control, and pretty much everything else in me was always good. It was just the fact that I had the issues with the blood sugar, and as I keep losing the weight, I'm going to be able to be more and more active. Like right now, I can power walk, which is basically walking over 2.5 to 3.5 miles an hour. I could jog if I wanted to, but I don't do it because Mom can't. I still can't run. I'm still too heavy to run, unfortunately. Running, I probably have to lose about another 30 or 40 pounds so I wouldn't totally blow out my knees. And that's a reality of life. I totally understand the fact that, you know, you have limitations at different stages of your life. For me right now, power walking is good enough, and then maybe I can build up to jogging eventually, and then running at the very end. But that's what it is. What it is. Oh, excuse me. I'm gonna catch my breath real quick. I've been talking up a storm. You guys, go ahead and make some more comments. I don't know why these things are still not coming out. Let me see here. No. Where am I right now, Ruben asks. I am right near the CHKD Thrift Store. It's called Poplar Hill Plaza. And I just decided to do it here because I was here and I wanted to just get this going, especially before it got dark, because we probably only have another hour's worth of sunlight, and it's going to be really hard for you guys to see me. Andrew, do you still watch Vlogging Life? Yeah. As a matter of fact, I saw his video the other day. Do you guys have a 99-cent store? No, not here. As far as I know, that's just a West Coast thing. But when I took my trip out to California, I did go to a few of them. We went to one in Bakersfield, and I think we went to one in Sonora. Matter of fact, that's where I got the floor mats for my van. Funny story about that. I met my parents out in Vegas, and we drove to California. and I actually got the floor mats at the one in Sonora, no, Bakersfield. I got the one in Bakersfield, and of course I couldn't bring them back on the plane with me, so they actually came home with my parents. They drove back across country, so I actually had to wait about a month until they got home to use the floor mats. And what I did, the dealership that I bought it from, because this is a used van, they left that plastic sticky paper on the carpet, and I just left that on there because I was afraid. I didn't want to damage the carpet. And then luckily it worked, because the paper, about a day or two before they got home, the plastic was just about to fall off, so I decided to pull it off, and I'm like, I got a day or two left. You know, I'll just go ahead and put something there. There we go. Let me see. There we go. I live in Walnut Creek, California. Tony Thatcher. Okay, I'm not exactly sure where that is. I've only been to California once in my whole life. My aunt and uncle live in Sonora, which is wine country. And when we went there, we did go to San Simeon. We saw the Hearst Castle, and that was absolutely gorgeous. 3 hours from Bakersfield. Okay. We avoided Los Angeles just mainly because of the traffic, the fact that we had a trailer and a big diesel truck. There was just no safe place to park that. And you know what? That's okay. I would love to see Los Angeles sometime. My dream is to maybe go out there, if I can get enough money together again, go to Los Angeles, Hollywood, and go to Disneyland. Those are the three things I really want to do. But this last trip was all about visiting my family, because my aunt and uncle are getting up there. They're about the same age as my parents. They're in their 60s now. And I've only met my uncle twice before, and I never met my aunt, and I never met my cousin. That's right, never. And that was more important to me. We did get to spend some quality time together, though. I don't know if they'll be upset if I tell this story, but I will. When we went there, they have two dogs. They have a Chihuahua and a Shih Tzu mix, I think it is. The male Shih Tzu is the nicest thing in the world. He was so friendly. The female Chihuahua, on the other hand, not so friendly. She would nip at me. She tried to bite me half the time. But besides that, we still had a lot of fun. And I never did get to meet their cats. They have 3 or 4 cats that are typical cats, nervous, you know, don't really like new people, unfortunately. So, you know, I had to live with it. But I would have liked to meet them. But I've seen pictures at least. So, you know, there's no issue there. Chris Garrett, I would go to California. I would love to go to California, drive my Dodge Ram across country. Well, you know what? I do it. I'd say. I mean, that's what we're going to be doing again. Well, my parents will be. I'm not going to be doing that. I don't have time. I'm not retired, so I have to work. Unfortunately, they're at that time of life they could spend months going across country. Sam Hodge, what do you think about the Intel processor flaw? Okay. The limited information I know about it, it affects pretty much all Intel processors post 2015. So if you have a processor before 2015, it's not part of that flaw. As far as I know, that was the latest information I've read about it. It is a flaw and it can be exploited, but the good news is there is no proof that it has actually been exploited, and I really don't think it will be, because at this point it's been so politicized and populated that hackers aren't even going to try to do it, because if they did, they would be caught almost immediately, because there are people out there actively looking for hackers trying to exploit this exact flaw. 2010 i7 930. Yeah, you shouldn't be affected. I'm not either. My main system is a i7 4790K from about no, 4790, not the K, from about 2014. So I should be good there too. I know I really should know what that is, right? I heard that it affected all Intel processors for the last 10 years. That's a distinct possibility. I'm not up as much as I should be with it, but I have read a lot of forums on it. I read, I think Matt Drudge did a thing on it the other day. I've read CNET's review, and I watched the Sunday morning special, and they were all saying it only affected processors post 2015, but That could have changed. I'm not 100% sure on that. Chris Garrett, I'm still running Windows 7. Yeah, nothing wrong with Windows 7. I mean, I love Windows 7. Windows 7 is a solid, reliable platform. And they're going to support, I believe, until 2021 is the latest I've heard. So you're good for a few more years there. Only reason I run Windows 10 is because of stability. I still find Windows 10 to be slightly more stable than Windows 7 on my computer. It may be totally different for the hardware you're running. 2020, that might be true. I think the extended support goes out to 2021. That was, again, the latest thing that I've heard. Microsoft is famous for changing their minds when it comes to the lifespan of their operating systems. Look at Windows XP. They went into extended support 2 or 3 times with Windows XP. Windows XP was supposed to go out of support originally in 2008. They extended it to 2010, then to 2012, and then eventually went to 2016. Stephen Barber, I find 8.1 to be more stable than Windows 10 in my opinion. I'll tell you something about Windows 8. Windows 8 is a very, very stable operating system. I would say as stable, and in your case, more stable than Windows 10. My beef with Windows 8 and 8.1 is that arrow interface and the fact you don't have a start menu. And yes, I know that you can get the start menu back with third-party programs, but when I ran Windows 8.1 on mine, they were never that reliable. So for me personally, Windows 10 just works better. You may be different. I'm never going to say somebody, look, you need to go with this operating system. If the operating system you have works for you, by all means, keep it. Unless it's Windows XP and Windows Vista if you're going on the internet. But that's a discussion from another time. Ruben's running Chrome OS right now. I've never actually used the Chrome OS. Of course, I have an Android phone. A good friend of mine, Frank, has a few of the... excuse me, I need to blow my nose again. Chromebooks, and I was thinking about buying one from him, but I have yet to do so. Another thing everybody keeps asking me is, Matt, why don't you get yourself a Raspberry Pi? And I probably will eventually. It's just not enough hours in the day. Sam Hodge, really, Windows 10 can really breathe life into an old computer, like a Core 2 Duo. Generally, Core 2 Duo, I hate the way this keeps disappearing, are showing their age. I agree. I've run Windows 10 on Core 2 Duos. I've actually run Windows 10 on Pentium dual cores from that era as well, and absolutely, they run flawlessly, even more than with Windows 7. Yeah, Core 2 Duos are technically obsolete, but I will tell you this, they are still very capable computers. About a year ago, I had to run... I had to edit up my vlogs on a Core 2 Duo system, and it wasn't even a high-end one. It was a 7400 series, which I believe is like a 2.6 gigahertz Core 2 Duo. And I tell you what, I was able to render 1080p video with that through Windows Movie Maker, mind you, in about 45 minutes for about a 20-minute video. And whereas my Core i7 would only take about 15 minutes, but that's still not bad. Core 2 Duos still have a good amount of life left in them. You can, with the right video card, a Core 2 Duo, you can still edit up and render videos. You can still watch high-definition video, I'd say up to 1080p. I would not do it with 4K. It just doesn't have the processing power. But as long as you have a good video card, a Core 2 Duo would make a good media system, like a home theater PC. It would make a good light video editing rig. And I'm not saying that if you're a high-end YouTube user, you'd want to render videos on a Core 2 Duo for any length of time. But for a short period of time, it's still fully functional. Are there any, this is Tim B, are there any cool features of the Town & Country you didn't cover in your review? I actually haven't done a review of this Town & Country yet, and I promise I will do that. Right, and I know I'm dragging my feet. Right now, the town and country is filthy because of the weather, and I really don't want to do it right now. Some of the features this has are dual DVD players. It has the DVD screen in front. It has two in the back. One of the screens right here, and then another one behind there. Really, another cool thing you do with this, you can actually watch two different movies at once. I can watch a DVD in the front head unit, the doubled-in head unit, and then they can be watching the DVD in the back. Now, a lot of people say, well, that's not safe when you're driving. There's a feature in this. As soon as you put this van into drive, it totally disables the screen on the head unit here. You can hear the DVD, but you can't see it. Other than that, the two things this van does not have that I wish it had, well, one really, it does not have the Bluetooth. The Uconnect is not installed in this. I may look into getting that installed in the future. It's about $300 or $400 to get it done at the dealership. If I ever get that kind of extra money, I'll probably have that done, because right now I'm just using a little, this is just a little portable Bluetooth speaker that attaches to my visor here. You guys can see it right there. And navigation. This one does not have the navigation, but I've actually done some research on that and found out that the built-in GPS navigation for these was abysmally so. I can't talk. It was very slow and it wasn't very accurate, so I'm okay with that. I'll just continue using the just a little GPS if I need to, or I'll just use the one on my phone. But I will tell you, about 6 months ago, I picked up another one of these head units at this very thrift store that does have the navigation. So if I ever have to change it out, I will probably put that feature in this van. Let me see. Is anybody else give me any questions? Can you do elevators this year? Ruben asked that. Yes, I will try to do some more elevator videos. I want to revisit the ones at MacArthur Center, see how they're running. Tell you, those elevators scare me. You guys know I'm not a big fan of Schindler elevators, and those are never running very well. They're bottom drive, hydraulic ram elevators, and they always seem to have problems. Let me see what we got here. Sam Hodgson, I have a modified Xeon E5450 installed in the Dell Vostra 230. It runs really well. I'm not sure how common an LGA 775 DDR3s are, but I'm happy to have one. Yeah, I'm not either. I know there were a few of them late, very late in the LGA 773 line. I've had a few Core 2 Duos with E8400s in them, one of the last Core 2 Duos that were DDR3 systems, though. Again, very capable computers. I have no problems with that. And the Core 2 quads, I mean, you can get those cheap now. You can buy those processors online for $20, even less, $10, $20. The Q84 8600s, and they are great processors. Those you can actually still watch 4K and even render 4K video with. Again, because of the instruction sets they're built in, it's not going to be as fast. But you can do it. It's totally acceptable, actually. We are at 13 watchers now and 12 likes. Thank you so much. Keep giving me those likes. That helps me grow this channel. One thing I wanted to get some feedback on from you guys. For the longest time, as this channel's been growing, I've been thinking about maybe starting up a Patreon account. I know some of you will probably say, oh, no, that's not a good idea, Matt. You know, there's so much ambiguity about Patreon. I will give you a promise. If I do decide to do a Patreon account, all the money that comes in from that is going to go to improving this channel. Either it's going to go to putting gas in this so I can go to better filming locations, buying equipment so I can have better video quality. But let me know what you guys think about it. You don't have to let me know right now. You can do that in post-production. I'll read the comments later on when I get home. Answer, I think it's a good idea. Well, thank you. We'll see what happens. I know my good friend, YouTube user Eric Brunhammer, has done that recently. If you don't know him, check out his channel. He's a variety channel like me. He does a lot of computer-related videos, but he also does a lot more car-related videos. He's basically like what's a good word? He's a backyard mechanic, but he's really good, very knowledgeable about what he knows. And I'm not a mechanic, guys. I know very little about cars. Believe me, it sounds like I do, but a lot of it's just smoke, blowing smoke. To be honest with you, I know enough to be dangerous when it comes to cars. You and Eric should meet up again. I would love to do that. Stephen Barber wrote that, by the way. It's very possible because when I go up to visit my uncle, we actually have to go past right where he lives. And I'd love to spend some more time. We just, you know, they say there's never enough hours in the day. I have so many ideas, so many things I want to do. But YouTube is not my primary function. I do have another business that I run, so it's hard to be able to do both things. There's just not enough hours in the day. But I promise you guys, I am going to try to be a little bit better in the future. Hopefully get to some more filming locations. I want to do some more urban explorations. If anybody out there is interested in meeting up with me and helping me out with that, I'm absolutely open to doing that. Of course, it's going to be the spring. I'm not going to do this in the winter. It's just too hard. Way too hard to urban explore places when there's snow and ice and who knows what. Abandoned Explorations is another gentleman I watched. He actually is the one that got me very interested in doing that, those types of videos. I've only done one or two. I did the one last year where we urban explored that house that's actually on the bike path and the walking path. I think I did one a few years earlier. I can't remember at this point. Excellent. Excuse me. Starting to lose my voice here. I am back. I'm really not sick right now. It's just that I had something the other week. I don't know what it was. I think it may have been the start of that flu that's going around, and it just knocked the energy out of me, unfortunately. I'm in Georgia. If I were close to you, I would help. Chris Garrett. Yeah, that's the problem. A lot of you guys are not, some of you aren't even from the same country as me. I know a lot of you guys are UK, Canada, you know, and unfortunately, you know, Max O'Neill, yeah, I know you're in the UK. Those of you that are in Canada, I may be able to meet up with one or two of you. It just depends on where you guys are. Now, my father, I don't know if I ever said this to him, my father is French-Canadian. He was born in Canada in a little town called Lake Megantic, which has been on the news recently because that town was decimated. My family's hometown was decimated when they had that train derailment. They've all gotten back on their feet now, and we're thinking about going back up there, and that's in the province of Quebec. So if any of you guys live anywhere near there, maybe we can meet up sometime, but I actually need to get my passport, because I have not gotten a passport yet. I used to be able to get into Canada without a passport. I don't know if you guys actually knew that or not, but that ended a few years back. Okay. I see that Chris Garrett said that he has been in my area before. Drives from DC to Norfolk. I'm very close to Norfolk, actually. Let's see what else we got here. Why does it keep doing that? There we go. UK, it's great to visit flea markets and pick up computers. Yeah, I would love to do that. The UK, England, Scotland, Ireland, I'd love to come and visit the British Isles sometimes and maybe get some computer stuff. Yeah, it'd be expensive to bring it back home. It'd be cheaper to get get video games and stuff, but a lot, as you guys probably know, it wouldn't work over here because we're NTSC and you guys are PAL over in the UK. So unfortunately, I'd have to get PAL equipment, not only a PAL whatever console I was using, but the TV as well. Car boot sales, that's right. I do know that. I do know that because I've been a big Anglophile for a while. I love British comedies. I love you know, pretty much anything have to do with England. I find your culture there very fascinating. I loved some of the British comedies I used to watch were Are You Being Served, Keeping Up Appearances. What was the other one we used to watch? The Good Life. I know here was called Good Neighbors, but I know what the real name was. As a matter of fact, years ago, and I never got to see him, from Are You Being Served, John Inman, Mr. Humphreys, actually came to our local mall back in the 90s and early 2000s. I think he was doing a book tour. I never got to meet him. I would have loved to have met pretty much anybody from that cast. They were just so talented. Unbelievably talented. Clothes and light shorts. Okay, Max O'Neill was saying it's really cheap for clothing. Clothes and light shorts. As a matter of fact, I am wearing shorts right now, believe it or not. As warm as it is today. 240 volt power supplies. Yeah, I know you guys have 240 volts over in UK, but correct me if I'm wrong. They're still switchable back to our 120 volts, correct? I think they go both ways, because I remember years ago when this was something that I'm a little embarrassed to say. Yeah, both 120, 240. Years ago when I worked in the Geek Squad at Best Buy, we had a few gentlemen come in. They were from somewhere in Europe. I wasn't exactly sure, but their home country had 240 volt power. So they brought their towers in to get the power supplies replaced, and unfortunately, I forgot to switch the new power supplies from 120 to 240, and when they brought them back to their yacht and plugged them in, there was a little smoke and a little bit of fire, and I got really reamed out for that one, and that was like a dunce moment. I'm like, I cannot believe I forgot to do that. And it was totally my fault. They told me to do it, and I forgot. Luckily, the computers were not damaged. It was just the power supply. So, yeah, I got a little bit of itch on my nose here. It was just the power supplies, luckily, but it could have been much worse. I could have destroyed those computers, and I'll be the first one to admit my failings, guys. You know what? They always say that you want to boast about your failings and not your successes, because that makes you a more humble person. And if that's true, I should be the most humble person that ever lived, because believe me, I have a lot of failings. That's totally true, by the way. Did I blow it up? I blew the power supply up. Both of them, actually. I don't know. I just totally forgot. I was late. I'm not going to give you guys an excuse to why I did it. I just did it. I was being stupid that day. How's it going with Donna? Are we back together? No, we probably never will be. Donna and I are very, very good friends. I'm not going to say too much about her, because I don't want anything to get back to her. I don't want her to feel embarrassed. But all I'm going to say about it is she and I are very, very good friends. We can hang out, go out to eat. She likes to come over once in a while. Sometimes we'll watch movies together. But we don't work romantically. Together, we just don't have the chemistry, unfortunately. I wish we did. It would be nice if we did. But when you don't feel it, you don't feel it. So that's all I'm going to say about that. We're getting on 40 minutes here. I'm hoping the battery's not going to die. Like I said, I literally have this crappy charger plugged in. And live streaming, believe it or not, takes up a lot of battery power, especially with this cell phone. Max O'Neill, I don't understand. I don't understand that comment. Can you elaborate on that? Where you say 1% BRB? Okay, I'm not sure. While I'm waiting, we're up to 17 watchers and 15 likes. Once again, click that like button if you like it. If you don't like it, don't. Oh, battery. Oh, okay, I got you. No, I'm sure it's higher than 1%, but it may still be dying, because I don't think that this actual car charges enough to keep this battery up for very long. Chris is going to go to bed. Have a good night. You too. Thank you for sticking with me this long. Just having fun here. You know what? I don't usually do live streams like this. I just wanted to try something different, and Looks like it's working. I think I'll probably do more of these in the future. I like the live stream format mainly because I don't have to be scripted, and I'm not usually scripted anyway. I might write down a few ideas before I do a video, but that's the way I like to run my channel. I don't like anything that's scripted, because to me, if it's scripted, it just sounds fake. Charger, be back in 5 minutes if I'm still there. Oh yeah, okay, I got you. Your battery's getting down there. I got you. I misunderstood that. Apologize. As oh, I can't even think of his name right now. Come on, there we go. We'd love to see more thrift store shows. Elizabeth Laforte, like at the schools. Yeah, it's very hard around here to film in thrift stores, and it's not for the reasons you would think. They're really open to it, but the problem is they're always blaring music, and not only can I talk, but I don't want to get hit by the copyright police. One thing I can do, and I might try to do this in the future, I may actually be able to just do a voiceover or just put some music there so you guys can see what's going on. I'm not very good with doing voiceovers. I've tried it in the past. I don't really have the good equipment like a lot of you guys have out there to do it, but we'll figure something out. I think we can work on that. The community thrift store. Oh, the community. Oh, you're talking. Okay, you're talking about the. Are you talking about the community sales? I guess like the garage sales. That's harder. If that's what you're talking about, that's harder because you're not in a public place. You're actually filming in somebody's house. I'm just always very uncomfortable doing that. I'm probably not going to do that I will always do garage sale find videos. I'm going to say I'm not going to do that at school. Yeah, LGR definitely uses voiceovers. I know that for a fact. And I love, for those of you who don't know who he is, Lazy Game Reviews. Look his channel up. He's a big video gamer. He does quite a bit with computers. I love that voice. I wish I could have a voice like that, to be honest with you. I think he should be in radio. He needs to be a broadcaster, to be honest with you. Oh, where she got the glass and the dishes. That was a craft fair. They do those twice a year, fall and winter. So I'll have to wait till next year to do that again. Yeah, where I had that little store that was built into the truck. Charlie Puth USA. Do I like Alvin and the Chipmunks? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. My favorite cartoon. By far. I watched the new series. I still watch the old series. You know, I'm in my 30s now, and I'm not ashamed to admit it, I still love that cartoon. It's about the only cartoon I ever really liked. I used to watch the Jetsons once in a while on Saturdays, but nah, I really liked Alvin and the Chipmunks. It's trying to get a little dark in here. Let me see if I can turn my lights on. If you look there, that's a little LED bar that this has. Come on. Ah, there we go. Yeah, that's a lot better. That was a good show. Yeah, I love. If you're talking about the Chipmunks, I absolutely love Alvin and the Chipmunks. The 60s to the 80s show, which I grew up with, and then to the current show that they have right now. Looking forward to my 1080p Philips 22-inch monitor arriving. Sam Hodgson. It's LED, and I'm not sure how the picture quality will be. Hopefully not too washed out. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of LED monitors. A lot of people like them, but I honestly think that the LCD backlit monitors, or I should say LCD monitors, are clearer. Mm-hmm. The difference is, with LCDs, it just depends on how it's lit. LCDs usually use like a fluorescent backlighting. LED monitors, even though they're still liquid crystal display, they backlight it with like individual LEDs, and they do just seem kind of washed out to me. I totally agree with you on that, by the way. This is Spiky91 USA. Did you see the new Star Wars? No, I didn't. I am a Star Trek fan, to be honest with you. I'm going to turn this off because I think that's putting a little too much glare. I probably won't. Maybe when it comes out on DVD, I'll watch it, but just never been much of a Star Wars fan. I'm sorry, don't mean to offend anybody out there. I don't have anything against Star Wars. I prefer Star Trek myself. And even then, I'm not a huge Trekkie either. I mean, I've seen the episodes, but I could really take it or leave it. One of my favorite sci-fi series of all time was a show called Sequest, and I don't know if you guys ever saw that. It ran from 1993 to 1996, starred Roy Scheider and later on Michael Ironside, and it basically was the Star Trek of the sea. They were on a giant submarine and they explored the ocean. That series only lasted 2.5 seasons, and I was so upset when they canceled it because I watched that every single week that was on. Absolutely amazing show in my opinion, and the reason that actually got canceled is because after the first season they lost a lot of their good cast members. They moved the show from California to Florida, and they also, I believe, moved from one network to the other. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's what happened, and the executives just butchered that show. It went from a lighthearted sci-fi movie or sci-fi series to kind of like an almost Aliens type thing. Everything had to do with aliens in the second season, and it just went downhill really quickly. Though I'll never forget the two DeLuise brothers were added, Michael and Peter DeLuise in the second series, and they were really funny because if you've never seen them, Peter is very, very tall, very big guy, and Michael's a very short guy, so you wouldn't think that they're brothers, but they work so well together in that series. Let me know if any of you guys have ever seen it. Sequest DSV was called the first 2 seasons, and the third season it was Sequest 2032. Sam Hodgson, I love Star Trek. My favorite series is Voyager. I do like Voyager. I just started watching that, actually. To be honest with you, the only series I didn't like was Deep Space Nine that much. And the actors were great in it, but I just didn't really like the storylines that much. I was a big fan of the Next Generation, the original series. Voyager, my favorite character on Voyager is Tuvok, the Vulcan. He is funny without actually being funny, in my opinion. But yeah, he cracks me up just the way he acts, kind of like Spock. I mean, let's face it, he's a Vulcan. 21 Jump Street. I've never seen the original series. I saw the movie. I thought that was pretty good. You know, I'll be honest with you, I am not a big fan of modern movies, modern cinema. I almost would rather watch an older movie. And yes, even though I'm young for a lot of you guys, I have seen quite a few classics. One of my favorites is a movie called Some Like It Hot from 1959 with Jack Lemmon and, what the heck is his name? Tony Curtis, where they are trying to flee from the mob, so they actually dress up as women and they go to Florida and join a band. I'm sure some of you guys out there must have seen it. It's a good classic, but those my younger viewers here, check it out. Check out some of the old that was from 1959, but 50s, 60s, and 70s movies. It can be really fun. 70s movies started to get a little bit on the raunchy side. I'll tell you though, one of my favorites from the 70s has to be the Dirty Harry trilogies with Clint Eastwood, 70s and into the 80s. Oh, let's see. I'm starting to lose some watchers here. I'm sure I'm probably getting a little long-winded, but we're still at 15 likes, so that's awesome. Spiky 911 USA. I was a kid when Mork and Mindy came out. Yes, I do remember Mork and Mindy. I've seen it. That's a little before my time. I saw it in reruns back in the 90s when Nick at Night had it. For those of you that never saw that, that was with Robin Williams, was an alien that came down in an egg and lived with a woman named Mindy. And it was funny. Stephen Barber, do you like The Big Bang Theory? Yeah. Yeah, I like the Big Bang Theory. I think it's ready. I really hope this is the last season, though, because I think it's getting to the point where it's not getting funny anymore. The same old jokes, and they're running out of material. I think what they need to do is end the Big Bang Theory this year and continue with Young Sheldon. If you haven't seen Young Sheldon, that's really, really funny. Very funny. I am Sorry about that. Unfortunately, I can't mute that now. Yeah, what's going on here? Da-da-da-da. Oh, that's cool. Oh, Sam Odge has a signed VHS from Tim Russ, the one that played Tuvok. That is totally awesome. Well, you know what, guys? It's getting dark here. I'm going to go ahead and end this live stream. I hope you guys really, really enjoyed this. I'm going to try to do more of these. Please continue to like and subscribe. And as I say always, have a blessed day, everybody.